Hi guys, welcome back for episode 3 of my podcast. I have no idea what I'm doing. There is going to be no episode that lives up to that name more than this one. For anyone who's watching online, you're all online, girls. Life is online these days. For anyone watching on YouTube, because yes, any of my Spotify listeners, this is also a video podcast. You might be wondering, hey, why is there like a weird brown line on your microphone? I've had audio issues, mainly that I go a lot into the microphone, and it is annoying. So I found this little microphone muff. Is that what you call it? I don't know. But it does have the branding of my husband's ex-job. Did you think I was going to say ex-girlfriend? Because that kind of sounded, who says ex-job? Old job. But it is, he doesn't work there anymore. And who would have branding for an ex-girlfriend? Wait, that doesn't make any sense. The theme of this episode is self-care and mental health. Cute, because girls, we all have it. We all have mental health. I have absolutely no authority whatsoever to talk about mental health, and in fact good mental health, because I don't have it. I don't have good mental health. But I'm working on it, and that's the key thing. I've been kind of having a mare recording this episode, I won't lie. Guys, it's been tough because right now, like my mentee H, it's been better. And my therapist says that I have a very, very strong self-critic. And girls, she is ranting and raving right now. She's on one. She is on one. You know when you're like at the bar with your girlies and you decide to have like a little rant and you don't trip over any words and you're like thinking to yourself halfway through the rant, you're like, oh my God, I sound really good. Like right now, I'm really good at forming sentences. I didn't realize that I could think this fast and also get the thoughts from my brain to my mouth hole so quickly. I'm incredible. That's kind of what my self-critic is doing right now. I think I want to name her. If anyone has any suggestions of a name for the voice inside my head, would love. What you need to know about her, she's a massive cunt. I do want to talk a little bit about mental health because I am going through it at the moment. It's been a kind of a funny old week. It's been a funny time in general. I feel like just everything's happening to everyone. Do you ever have those times in your lives where you're like, every time you're on the phone or you meet up with someone and they're like, hey, so I'm having the worst time of my life, and you're like, whoa, what is going on? And this is where I do believe that like the stars and their power are real. Like, do I actually in a genuine way believe that the stars dictate our lives and our personalities? Probably not. But I do think that there's sometimes there's something in the air. And that feels like this week. For anyone who doesn't know me personally, which is probably not very many of you guys listening, but I have, I've struggled with my mental health for all of my adult life and and a lot of my childhood as well, actually. And, I sometimes try to figure out like why, but I do think that sometimes you're just like, you get, so, you know, sometimes, you win some, you lose most is a proverb that I live by. Let's take a moment here to pause and to remind ourselves that Alice has absolutely no qualifications to give anyone advice of actually any kind, especially not mental health advice, because I am insane. So maybe don't listen to me. Maybe that's the advice you should listen to. I have, as I said at the start, struggled with my mental health since the start, really. I was a very, very anxious child. I was afraid of everything, more or less, and I had issues with things like sleep, and I was like terrified of death for a very long time when I was younger. So fun, so cute. I think I just found out what death was, and I was like, whoa, what? That's crazy. I know that's too big of a concept for my little brain. And you know what? It's too big of a concept for, I think, anyone to figure out. But I really got fixated on death when I was like a small child. But like not in a fun, like cool, kind of like gothy, like it became part of my aesthetic way. Like more of like just like a constant white knuckled, everyone I've ever loved and ever known is gonna die. And like, so why would I, go to swimming practice? I thankfully have a mother that is very like pro therapy and very pro getting help when you need it. So I ended up talking to someone very young. Now, she wasn't a therapist, but she was like someone, I actually don't know who, but we sat and we spoke, and that was really helpful. So from like a really young age, I found out how helpful it was for me to go and speak to someone. And that is something that I ended up doing and still continue to do to this day. This is such a bummer of a topic, isn't it? It's kind of not fun. Like, I'm meant to be doing a comedy podcast and this isn't really funny. And no, guys, it's not funny. But I do want to talk about it because life gets hard, and it gets hard for everyone. Even the funny ones. No, guys, the only reason I'm like in any way funny is because I'm so sad. As I got older, like my mental health, I again like was anxious a lot. I used to get really burnt out. Like I get so tired and I wouldn't be able to go do things. I've since been diagnosed with ADHD, which like makes a lot of sense, right? Because just like my general demeanor, and also like my saddies. Things got like the way like my mental health that I see myself like, okay, no, like, and maybe a word will come out properly, like maybe a sentence will be formed, but it's hard. No, guys, it is hard. It's hard to talk a lot of the time. And this is what I say, is that sometimes my brain has, I would say like on average, maybe like 14 thoughts that like spring up all at once, and then they all try run to my mouth all at once, and it's too much because there's only one hole, and only one thing can come out at once. So that's what happens when I do that, and I hope it comes off as, oh, that's kind of quirky and charming, because it's difficult to live with. Anyway, when I was like about like, I would say like 16, 17 is when my mental health, I guess, developed into what the issues that I had as an adult would be. So, well, kind of, yeah. Where like I would get really anxious, and I have been very depressed in the past, and maybe right now, just because of this going poorly. That's why. And it was a lot to do with the fact that like I had to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, right? It's like a really, really stressful time for any human being on planet Earth, right? Well, for I suppose people in like first world countries, because I don't know if that's like an issue that is being dealt with people who are just trying to survive. Well, I don't know why I had that thought, but it's important to say maybe, because it is really like a first world problem. Oh, I can't figure out what college course I want to do. Oh my God, just be thankful that you get to go to college, maybe. Hey, maybe take us out and no, but things are things. There's and it's happening again, and it's happening again. Context is key, is what I'm trying to say. And things that are difficult for you, yeah, maybe someone somewhere else has bigger issues, but it can still be hard. But like maybe just like don't complain about it so much. Like we saw what James Charles did recently, right? Great. I went to college. I got my degree. And then the anxiety increased, right? Because I was then like an adult on my own. I was certainly not on my own, but like that's, you kind of had to start making decisions and start figuring out like how you're going to make money, let's say. So I ended up kind of, I would say, looking back now, like treading water for like a very long time, and just trying to keep my head above it. And I think it was difficult for anyone else to understand why I was having such a difficult time, because in reality, like there was no reason that I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do, but I just didn't know how. I'm at a point in my life right now where, like, for the first time ever, I feel like I have, like, I think real advice that I could give to people or to someone, or honestly to my younger self. And if I could, like, go back and talk to me at 24 or whatever age, I would just say to do it. And I understand why she couldn't, but it's the world, I think, is like set up for us to believe that can't, like, the things that we want can't happen to us. But in reality, it's like you just have to do it every day. Am I making sense? I'm starting to get, like, it's like this. I'm being very sincere right now, and it's not sitting well with me. Because at the end of the day, girls, if I was made the Minister of Defence, like, I would use humour. This is what I'll say about self-care and, like, believing in yourself and all that, like, stuff, is that I am sitting here doing this, and why I'm sat here being like, what am I doing? No, guys, like, what am I doing? And I'm still going to edit it, I'm still going to upload it, and it's not going to be good. But, like, I think it's about, like, when you want to put stuff out there, like, that has to be something that the audience will decide. Because sometimes I put things out that I think are fucking class. I'll be like, that was hilarious. Hey, no one's ever been funnier. And then I upload it and people are like, and then it's always the thing that you do, like, 2 seconds with, like, no thought. People are like, a comic genius. And you're like, that was the dumbest joke I could have made. Like, the reality of it is, like, I had jobs that paid me enough to live and to survive and to maybe go on a holiday every so often. But what it cost me was my mental health. Whoa. Guys, maybe I should get into, like, therapizing people. Will I create this, like, will I make this into, like, a self-help podcast? A la Diary of a CEO. Oh, would I do that? I'll get people in to be health experts. Oh my god, will I get my husband to be it now? Wait, I gotta check if the match is on. Oh, I have been making the worst podcast of my life, and I was just thinking it might jazz things up if you want to become a guest for 5 minutes.
Sure.
Okay. Get in here. We only have the one mic, of course. Guys, this is Dylan. Oh my god.
Hey.
So Dylan, the theme for this episode was, I was, like, talking about, like, mental health and self-help.
Or that sounds fun.
Like, self-care. But then I videoed for, like, 35 minutes, and then I stopped and I was like, what am I doing? So then I started again, and I've honestly been for 35 minutes talking mumbo jumbo. But yeah.
It sounds on brand for a mental health episode to end with you being like, what am I doing?
But that's what the podcast is called.
Yes, that is true.
Anyway, I just said there that maybe I'll turn it into a self-help, because I said something really insightful. I can't remember what. Anyway, I said I'd make it into self-help, like Diary of a CEO, and that I'd bring on guests that have no,
oh yeah,
like, any kind of medical or brain cells, really.
Who would you have on?
Well, I'm having you.
Oh, great.
No, but because we're doing a bit.
So no brain cells.
No, you have so many brain cells. But I'm just saying, you could be a doctor, okay?
Yeah, okay.
So Dylan, what do you do for your mental health? And don't say smoke weed, because that's not good advice.
No, that isn't good advice.
Okay.
Do you want actual advice or?
Yeah.
Talk to someone about it.
Like your wife.
Yeah, it helps if you have a wife.
Would you suggest that if people are mentally unwell that they marry someone?
Yeah, that's what I did.
Great, we gotta cut this right now. It's been really fun. I'm just joking. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
Great. Do you want to do a quiz about me?
Yeah.
Okay. Dylan, what is my middle name?
You don't have one.
That was a trick question.
Trying to get me off the...
What were your very first thoughts about me? And they better be incredibly flattering.
So, is that a quiz question? Because is that... You don't know the answer.
No, I do.
What is the answer?
Well, just knowing me and knowing what I'm like, you probably were like, "Whoa, oh, she's got a fatty," or something like that. And then you're probably like, "I'm about to wipe her up."
Yeah, I was like a wooga in my brain.
Oh yeah.
You gave me brain smiles.
Oh, I give you brain smiles.
Yeah.
Right. Do you want me to do a quiz on you?
Yeah. Do I have to come up with questions?
Yeah.
Okay. What's my communion name?
You didn't make a communion because you're a dirty Protestant.
You didn't have to editorialize it like that.
Also, you don't make communion names, my love. You make confirmation names.
Oh, well, just outing myself there, aren't I?
If you had a podcast, what would you talk about?
Football, probably.
Dylan's a huge football fan.
Mm.
Yeah, you talk about... Do you remember when I was like, we should start a football podcast? And you were like, no.
Yeah, I do remember that. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'll have you know that I got a notification from Spotify that I've had 50 listens and downloads. So that's what you're missing out on.
That's great.
Thank you. This is actually such a disaster. This is so bad. But I don't have any other day that I could record it.
That's okay.
Maybe I'll record it on Monday. But this could be kind of cute and fun and you have sat down and that's very sweet of you.
Well, you can cut me out if you want. I don't mind. But if you want, you can also use me.
No, I know, but I just feel like I don't know what I'm doing.
That's the whole point. Isn't it?
I don't know. It's like, what am I doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't just decide you're gonna have a podcast, sit down and just start talking about nothing.
Have you listened to podcasts? I mean, yeah, some of them have a bit of a plan, but like, it's usually just like, especially like, the ones that you see on TikTok with like those guys who are just like chatting about whatever they're just thinking about.
Yeah.
And some of those are quite popular. What are any of us doing?
No, and that's the point.
Exactly, so...
Alright, this is how I say goodbye on the podcast. Oh, well, actually, you should know, because have you listened?
Yeah.
What do I say?
I don't remember what you say to say goodbye.
Have you actually listened to it?
Yeah, I was listening to it when I was going to sleep. I fell asleep before the end of it.
But that wasn't good. Like, I may as well just turn over and be like whispering in your ear, which I do.
You do that
sometimes.
anyway, yeah. So I was just like...
Right, this is what we say to say goodbye. We say, keys, phone, pussy, attitude. Are you ready?
Keys, phone, pussy, attitude.